On a beer? It's 7 o'clock in the morning. Scotch?
We are back with you live once again on another Johnny Torch live broadcast. Yes, I'm back. You guys can't get rid of me no matter how hard you try. But we are going to endeavor to bring you a really good show this afternoon, this nice, bright, sunny afternoon. It seems like we're going back to my, I was going to say summer schedule, but it's still spring. Spring, summer schedule. Try to do the broadcast a little bit earlier in the day so I can get out there and enjoy the afternoon. Still afternoon, early evening. You know, it's nice in the summer when you get the long daylight hours and you get to enjoy yourself. Enjoy life as much as you can anyway during these harried and hectic times. So how are you? I want to know. Let me know in the comments below. How is life treating you? Tell Johnny Torch. Tell Johnny Torch everything. Well, maybe not everything. There are some things I could do without hearing. But without further ado, we're going to bring you a Torch News Roundup this afternoon, number 199, our penultimate episode before our big 200th episode. And how are we celebrating the 200th episode? I don't know. I don't know because we take a look at, if you don't know, we take a look at pop culture and basically superhero comic book related stuffs every week on the only way to spend your Saturday here with us, our trademarked logo. All right, so without further ado, Johnny Torch live broadcast number 242, Torch News Roundup number 199. We're going to be talking about some of the stuffs that's been going on, some of the stories that have broken in the past week. Last week, let's see, we did the show on the Spider-Man leaks, the supposed plot line for Spider-Man No Way Home. Is that what it's called? I honestly have no interest in the movie. The thing I want to see is the multiverse. You know, I want to see Tobey Maguire and Alfred Molina. And if you haven't checked it out, check out the Batwoman review I did for episode 10. Again, it's always touch and go whether I want to do those. I want to keep those really short because, you know, short videos really help your algorithm. And I can always find, generally find like 5 minutes that I can spend talking about Batwoman, and it, it kind of boosts the algorithm to do something short and sweet like that. I don't have too many other prospects. I mean, there's not really too many other things that lend themselves to brief reviews like that. And I'm sure there are other channels that'll give you more in-depth analysis, but for the money that you're not paying, it's worth it to just do 5-minute reviews. Okay, let's not waste any more time. Get funky fresh on that like button, because I was told on Twitter that it's it's not popular, or maybe it's too popular to say smash the like button. So I'm not going to say smash the like button. I'm going to say get funky fresh on that like button. As a kid, I never understood what that meant. What the heck is funky fresh? But if you're so inclined, get funky fresh on the like button, the subscribe button, and share. Tell all your friends. Tell all your enemies. Tell people that you don't even know. And see if we can get a bigger crowd here enjoying the Torch News Roundup. Okay, check out the link in the description below for The Adventures of Bullets Bourbon Private Eye, my all-ages action-adventure extravaganza about a down-on-his-luck private eye who takes on the most colorful collection of villains imaginable in each and every action-packed issue. Now, I planned on revealing a few new panels, different meaning, but I've been working very, very diligently on getting this book done, and it is going to be a masterpiece, and you are going to be very thrilled with it. I already showed the images on Twitter, but I'm going to show them again here, for the first time here, but for the second time all over. This is for our new issue number 8, which is called Temptation Eyes. And this story, Bullets Bourbon, is going after Carrot Top and his father's gang, the Vegetable Garden Gang, as they try to purloin a statuette that is priceless, an artifact. And he is getting also caught between a gang war between rival gangs. We have Corey Apple and Adam Apple here. And Bullets and Veronica go undercover to the speakeasy, and Adam Apple, gets his vile clutches on both of them. So Bullets is going to have to swing into action to liberate them, and that is the subject of the panels we're showing you here today. And I'm having some technical difficulty here. That's why I seem to be speaking so staggeredly, I suppose. But of course, I love the apple seed teeth that I gave Adam Apple. You can see his unique set of choppers. And also, I mentioned that when I created the character of Adam Apple, I had the voice of the great, legendary Ricardo Montalban. And unfortunately, he's not here any longer to voice the character, if we can ever get the character voiced in live action. But I kind of based him somewhat on his, on his unique vocal pattern, so to speak. We have a visitor here. Let's see. Hi, hello. Nice to see you join the show. Glad to have you here. All my viewers are welcome, and I want to thank all my subs. If you haven't subbed yet, make sure you hit that sub button, because, the longer that the shows go on, the more sub count has been going up, and I'm really appreciative to all the subs out there. All right, so let's move on to the next one here. You see, again, sorry for the technical difficulties here. Let's see. All right, this is the action scene here. Now, Bullets is flirting with the dark side, as you can tell by his darker outfit. And he gets a little bit more brutal in his action scenes here. He's a little more violent than he usually is typically. But he springs into action here. Mr. Pineapple, of course, was the consigliere of Adam Apple. It's interesting because in this world, in the Bullets Bourbon world, a consigliere is, sort of a man of action. I don't know if that's really the way it is. I think they're usually civilians, the consiglieres. But anyway, he's a man of action, and so Bullets springs right into action and gives him all he can handle. And I don't know, I always say these books are all ages. I don't know really if the violence being a little bit more slightly PG-13 in this book is going to turn off some readers, because I know my clientele is typically, the 9 to 12 market. That's who my readers usually are. So I don't want to surprise anyone here with the level of violence and some of the more, some of the more mature kind of themes that we're dealing with here, of obsession, temptation, betrayal. But again, I just write the stories as they come to me. I don't really, I always have a line that I won't cross. We don't get into gore and, nudity or swearing or anything, but it basically is just whatever the story demands be told, I tell it. And this is it has to be a little more violent. It has to be a little more brutal. And also, this is sort of my tribute to the 90s. You know how 90s comics were? They were pretty violent. They were, again, I've got, and the babes were a lot more accentuated, so to speak, into the stories. And, the color palette, I'm trying to have neon colors. Reminds me of Batman Forever, where everything was had neon to it. So that was also part of the theme. All right, cool. Thank you. I hope you enjoy it. I'm very happy to get any interaction on these pages. Let's see, what's the last one? Here we go. This is the culmination of the scene. Of course, it turns into an action scene where Bullets Bourbon goes, action follows. And I did like the little tribute I did here of Bullets Bourbon using the pool cues as a lightsaber. All that watching of Return of the Jedi didn't end up getting wasted on me, and I know how they're going to hold those things and swing them around like sabers. And of course, we have Bosco the pear. That's his name. He's swinging it backwards, but he's still swinging it. And Veronica, of course, this is a character I don't think that anybody's seen yet, unless you've. No, well, nobody could have seen him unless you were on Twitter, I guess. But Raisin, he's the guy getting the uppercut by Veronica there. And of course, Veronica is a lot of fun because last issue we had Desiree, who was our leading lady. And she is, well, she's a singer, she's an entertainer, so she really didn't partake in any of the action. But, of course, Veronica, she's walked with the mean crowd for quite a while. And so she knows how to handle herself. She can take care of herself in a fight. And this is a lot of fun to see this action scene where they both team up to take on the fruit salad mob. So, again, not to belabor the point, but please check out The Adventures of Bullets Bourbon Private Eye. I am going to very diligently try to get all the rest of the pages done. I've got, let's see, we're on page 14. I've got about 8 more pages to go, and then we're probably looking at, I think, June. I think June is probably when this is going to go to print. But again, I think once the initial action scene has been completed, then I'll probably be able to get to the other pages faster. Let me see. Do I look cute too? Well, let's put it this way. Bullets Bourbon is sort of a self-portrait. So if you find Bullets Bourbon attractive in the drawing that you see right there before you, you might think I'm kind of cute too. I'll leave it at that. I don't really put my face on these videos because, well, to be honest, there's frankly one reason why I don't. It's because I've got the reputation of being the best dressed man in comics. So right now, basically, I'm just dressing casual. I'm dressing for comfort. And, you know, I'd have to do the makeup. I'd have to put on the 3-piece suit. And frankly, I ain't going to do that on a Saturday afternoon, not unless I'm getting paid. So that's why I don't. But I haven't been totally shy about showing my face. If you're on Twitter, I've tweeted pictures of myself from conventions. Not too long ago, I tweeted a picture of myself with Peter Simeti. So, yeah, check Twitter. Maybe you'll see a picture of me there because I have a couple of them floating around. But I'm not too vain. I don't show myself off all that often. So I hope that's okay. All right, so let's take a look now at the... Anyway, like I said, check out The Adventures of Bullets Bourbon Private Eye. You get 3 free preview pages on my website. And that's for the Family Jewels, which, as it says right here in the ticker underneath, it's $5 for 20 pages. It's the best bargain you're going to find for comics in this day and age. All right, so the first story we do, we open the show with that clip that I like so much from Michael Keaton. And we have some confirmation now. This is pretty exciting. Confirmation that Michael Keaton will indeed be in The Flash, which is now commencing to shoot. Michael Keaton has sort of been non-committal, let's put it that way, about whether he was going to be in The Flash. He did the same thing with Spider-Man Homecoming. You know, it's one of those negotiation tactics, I believe, where they kind of don't want to sound committed in case they have to back out because they're not going to get the best deal or whatever. All right, so let's see. The Wrap has obtained official confirmation from Keaton's talent agency, ICM Partners, that the Academy Award-nominated actor will indeed reprise his role as the Dark Knight of Gotham in Andy Muschietti's The Flash. The film will mark the first time in 30 years that Michael Keaton has donned the cape and cowl, having last appeared as the character in 1992's Batman Returns. Ezra Miller will headline the feature as the titular Scarlet Speedster, with a supporting cast consisting of Kirstie Clemons as Iris West, newcomer Sasha Calle as Kara Zor-El / Supergirl, Maribel Verdú as Nora Allen, Ron Livingston as Henry Allen, Cerise Monica Jackson in an undisclosed role, Rudy Mancuso in an undisclosed role, and Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne, Batman 2016. So, for all that talk that Ben Affleck wasn't going to be Batman anymore, I guess this is going to be his swan song. There's been a lot of rumors that Michael Keaton is not going to... He's going to be the Batman of this universe, but he's not going to function as sort of the, the Batman in the way that Ben Affleck has. He's going to be sort of the Batman Beyond version. So, I don't know. This is curious. I mean, it could go either way. Could Ben Affleck really step up here and decide that he wants to take the reins back and be this universe's Batman? Will they turn it over to Michael Keaton and he won't be quite as hands-on a Batman, but sort of be the mentor that they were suggesting? I don't know. It's anybody's guess. Muschietti, director of It and It Chapter 2, is directing the blockbuster with a screenplay by Christina Hodson, who wrote Bumblebee and Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey. Well, that's very comforting. That instills one with absolute confidence. Plot details remain locked away, but the story is rumored to follow Barry as he travels back in time to prevent his mother's untimely death, which, where have we seen this before? The TV show, do we really want to see that again? I guess it's okay in as much as we're going to see some different takes of it, so to speak, this time. Which in turn has disastrous consequences for the entire DC multiverse. Filming commenced today. Well, this was written a couple of days ago in the UK, and Muschietti commemorated the long-awaited moment by sharing the film's official title card. The Flash is currently set to zip into theaters on November 4th, 2022. Not that far away. So, let's see. All right, let me take a look at the chat here. I didn't pay attention because you're on notifications. I don't know, that's the thing. They tell you to ring the bell, hit the bell for notifications. I don't know how that works, because every time I've hit the bell on somebody else's YouTube, they never notify me either. So I honestly don't know. Any Instagram? Yeah, that's been a problem for me for a while now. I don't really pay attention to more than one social media, thing at one time. I can handle YouTube and Twitter, but basically only Twitter is what I do. And I know, because I mean, I've got a Gab account, I've got a Minds account, I've got Discord, I had a DeviantArt account which I've never used, and I really can only stick with one thing, so I basically stick with Twitter, and that's kind of been a problem because a lot of people want to interact with me on Instagram, but that's the long and short of it. Batman Forever is my favorite as well. Very good movie. And Tim Burton, yeah, Tim Burton, he's quite the character as well. That's a great avatar, by the way. Of course, the original Catwoman herself, Julie Newmar, always gets a lot of respect. All right, so let me know what you guys think about Batman, of course, returning in the form of Michael Keaton to the DCEU. Let me see. Yeah, I always, before I do a live stream, I always will say it on Twitter. That's the best way to find out if I'm going to do a live stream, is keep an eye on Twitter on Saturdays. I try to tell folks about 15 minutes before the show begins at least. Sometimes, if I can, earlier than that. Okay, so we're going to talk next about, let me see, Shang-Chi's trailer dropped not too long ago. And I'm not going to go through it step by step, honestly, but I'm just going to talk about it in broad strokes. I'm familiar with Shang-Chi, actually, from the old Marvel team-ups. Remember that book? That was when Spider-Man teamed up with a recurring character. And, I think that lasted until the mid-'80s, possibly the late '80s. But back then, in the mid-'80s, when I was reading comics as a kid, Shang-Chi, the master of Kung Fu, I think as he was known as at the time, was a pretty reoccurring character that showed up in those pages, and I found him very compelling. Of course, Shang-Chi was created in the '70s mostly as an adjunct to the kung fu craze of the '70s. Of course, he's based slightly on Bruce Lee and the kung fu TV series that was popular at the time with what's his name, Keith Carradine, I believe. And of course, they also had Iron Fist, Misty Knight, Colleen Wing, and Luke Cage. They were all sort of in that sphere as trying to, accommodate that kung fu, for lack of a better term, genre that was going on at the time. And he kind of fell out of the public view for a while there, and at least as far as I know, that I really didn't see much of him, going forward from the '90s to the 2000s. They're finally bringing him back for his own big screen adaptation. And apparently, well, just my basic thoughts for the trailer. It looks very good. It's very action-oriented. It looks a lot of fun. It looks like they really spared no expense to make it exciting. And the characters look good. We have that masked ghoulie, whoever his name is, with the kabuki mask, and then we have the Mandarin. We're promised the real Mandarin this time, which basically what they did was, because Shang-Chi was the son of Fu Manchu in the comics. Now, of course, Fu Manchu has become a politically incorrect statement because that was, I don't know, a character used in Yellow Peril comics and genre all into its own, and it's become unfashionable to talk about Fu Manchu. So that gave them the opportunity to bring in the actual Mandarin, which is pretty cool. Now, he's probably going to be the son of the original Mandarin, not the Trevor version from Iron Man 3, thankfully. So I'm looking forward to that and seeing what they can do with that. The actor here, Simu Lee? Liu. Simu Liu. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Looks good. He's up to the task, obviously. I've never seen him act in anything else. The thing is, to me, now the downside of this is that it looks fairly generic. If I didn't see the Mandarin and, I don't know, I guess the Kabuki mask character kind of tips it that it's a Marvel movie, but it really doesn't look like anything from the MCU. And that's not really their fault, because Shang-Chi inherently didn't have a costume in the comics. He kind of wore a red gi, which, for those of you who don't know what a gi is, that's basically what in Cobra Kai, that's the uniform you wear in the dojo when you're practicing. And he basically wore that, and most of the time went shirtless, and that was that. So they gave him this kind of costume that he's got on right here, right now, which is, the typical sort of leatherish number there. It's going, and seeing as how Shang-Chi doesn't have any solid foundation, there's no real roots to his story that a lot of people know. This could really just go in any direction. I'm not sure, but it looks promising. Okay, so let's take a look at the copy here I found from Entertainment Weekly. Let's see. Lou says, the most exciting thing about stepping into this character was that his backstory has never been told before. We know so many different versions of Batman's origin story, how his parents were murdered when he was very young. We know Peter Parker, who was bitten by a radioactive spider, and he loses his uncle. Shang-Chi's story is very much unknown to most of the world, so we had a lot of freedom and creative liberty to make it the way that we wanted to. Yeah, that's kind of what I was figuring. The core of Shang-Chi's arc in the comics is really a family drama, adds producer Jonathan Schwartz. That was something that Destin keyed into really early on in our conversations. The idea of taking this broken family and this really dark, even abusive family background, and seeing what that does to a child over time. So interesting. I don't have the release date here, but I believe this one is coming out this year. I believe it's in the fall. I'm not sure, but we'll check that out. Again, really excited to see this. It's going to be good to see anything in the movies now. So let me know what you think. Are you excited about Shang-Chi? Are you looking forward to it? As I am. All right, so let's see. Next up, let's see. I hope this is working out because I feel like there's some kind of buffering going on. I'm having technical difficulties today, so this might not be the the pristine presentation that I was hoping it would be, but doing my best. All right. Next up, it has been revealed we have a new cast member for Thor: Love and Thunder. Thor 4, otherwise known. During an appearance on Australian radio, Russell Crowe confirmed that he will take on the role of Olympian god Zeus in Thor: Love and Thunder. You have to believe Marvel Studios was looking to keep this a secret, especially as this character's introduction could be a game changer for the MCU. In the comic books, Zeus is the supreme monarch of the Olympians, a group of beings that includes one-time Avenger Hercules. So, this is probably setting the stage for Hercules. You know that's going to happen, right? You know that, don't you? He also has ties to the Eternals and battled Odin when Olympus and Asgard went to war thousands of years ago. That'd be interesting. So, age doesn't really mean anything here. You can still be a superhero because, Russell's getting up there. He's already played Jor-El. Now he's playing probably the Marvel equivalent of that character, right? Zeus? I don't know. Zeus has fought alongside Thor in the present day, and his introduction likely signals the debut of a number of godlike beings from the Olympians in this shared world. Will Crowe be here to stay? That would be pretty cool, though it seems far more likely that Zeus will be a victim of Gore, the God Butcher. The God Butcher. As he travels through the cosmos, killing every god he comes across. In other words, we're probably going to see Crowe versus Christian Bale on the big screen. Yeah, that's pretty exciting. Christian Bale being the villain here. I can't wait to see what he's going to look like as a villain. Gore the God Butcher. Yeah. That's a moniker, huh? That's a moniker and a half. So, yeah, this is exciting news. I don't know, this people either love Ragnarok or hate it. And this looks like it's going to be basically Ragnarok Part 2. I'm in the middle. I enjoyed it for what it was. I enjoy it for what it is now because I'm not really a dyed-in-the-wool Thor guy. I know there are a lot of people who that's their guy. That's their hero. I don't really have that kind of emotional connection to Thor, so that if they want to take it down these weird trails, I don't really mind. But with that said, I think the first Thor movie was clearly the best. I thought the second one was good. A lot of people ragged on that one, want to put that one down really low on the totem pole. I thought it was a good movie. I mean, it wasn't a masterpiece. But anyway, let me know what you think about Thor 4. Are you looking forward to it? Yes or no? All right, let's see. Your fun. Thank you very much. I'd like to think so. Thank you very much. I'm very appreciative of all the attentions that I give here on on the broadcast. It's here. I do it for the people. I do it for my people. And you're all good people, each and every one of you. I appreciate each and every one of you. All right, here's another story that just came out. We've got Emilia Clarke. She is joining the cast of Secret Invasion, which will be on Disney Plus, I believe, next year. I don't know. Maybe I'll find out the actual date when we get to the end of the copy. But Variety is reporting that 4-time primetime Emmy-nominated actress Emilia Clarke, Game of Thrones solo, has joined the cast of Marvel Studios' upcoming Secret Invasion. Unfortunately, details on the role are kept tightly under wraps. She joins an all-star cast that features Academy Award nominee Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury, primetime Emmy winner Ben Mendelsohn as Talos, last seen in Captain Marvel, Kingsley Ben-Adir as the lead villain, and Academy Award winner Olivia Colman in an undisclosed role. A director hasn't been set yet, but Kyle Bradstreet is serving as head writer on the project. Clarke is, of course, best known for her portrayal of Daenerys Targaryen. I never watched Game of Thrones. I seen one episode. I can't say I never did, but she's also appeared in Solo, Terminator Genesis. Yeah, I think we all know that. Clarke is the latest Game of Thrones alum to join the Marvel Cinematic Universe, following Kit Harington and Richard Madden, who will both appear in Eternals this November. Let's see. The 6-episode miniseries is expected to begin sometime this fall in the UK and Europe, presumably setting the stage for a debut on Disney Plus in 2022. So, yeah, there you have it. Now, I'm not really all that excited about the Secret Invasion, to be totally honest. And there are a couple of reasons. One, the only hero that's really going to take part in this is going to be Nick Fury, which is great. But at the same time, I don't know. I mean, I think the original story had to do with the Skrulls infiltrating different superheroes and replacing different characters. Captain America was a Skrull, and Spider-Woman was a Skrull, or whatever. I don't know. I don't know if I can get that excited if the only one who is going to be taken over is going to be Nick Fury. We kind of already got that tag or whatever set up in Captain Marvel. The other thing is I never read the Secret Invasion story. Maybe that's a good thing, because then they can do whatever they want and it won't influence me either way to love it or hate it. And the other thing is, I'm not really a big fan of the everything you know is wrong storyline. Like, for instance, they're going to do, how far back was Nick Fury a Skrull? When did that happen? Did that happen back in Civil War or, the Winter Soldier? Did it go back as far as the original Avengers? Were we ever dealing with the real Nick Fury? And the question... the answer probably is we never were, because if Captain Marvel took place in the 90s and he was a Skrull then, I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see how this goes out. Who is she playing is probably the main question. I'm guessing she's going to play some kind of Skrull, but, there's been suggestions maybe she could be Spider-Woman. I could see her as Spider-Woman. She would make a good Spider-Woman, I guess. But you would think they would want to try to establish Spider-Woman first as maybe her own character in her own movie, or maybe as a supporting character to someone else. Like, put her in a, Avengers movie, maybe? I don't know. I don't know how you do it, but I think you probably have to introduce her before you could start talking about her being taken over by a Skrull. Although, this could maybe just be a setup of her, and then they turn her into Spider-Woman somewhere along the line. Maybe she's just Jessica Drew at this point. I don't know. Oh, thank you very much. All right, so let me know what you think about the proposed Secret Invasion storyline, and who do you think Emilia Clarke is going to play? I would surely like to know. All right, we've got to look at some set photos from Sonic the Hedgehog 2. It looks like Knuckles is going to be a little bit bigger than Sonic here. He's a little bit taller anyway. And these, of course, are just props so that the actors have something to look at, I think. There's no copy to this, but I found this image. I found it very interesting because it looks very good. It looks very promising. It looks like Knuckles will look like Knuckles the same way they made Sonic and Tails look like Sonic and Tails. This is kind of like... Honestly, this is what I wish they did for Green Lantern. The Green Lantern movie with Ryan Reynolds, where everybody kind of agreed that the first movie was underwhelming. And they could have just built on that with the Sinestro Wars and this and that. But instead, they backed off and they were like, oh, we've got to go back to formula. Back to formula. And I'm like, now we got to, you know how long we've waited for Green Lantern to come back into the live action realms in the DCEU? It's been over 10 years at this point. And that's what happens when you just like scuttle the whole thing. I mean, every Star Trek the motion picture can still have a Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. They could have done that with Green Lantern. You've seen what works. You've seen what doesn't work. Cut aside and jettison the stuff that doesn't work and focus on the stuff that does work. That's kind of what they're doing here. Now, I thought the first Sonic movie was good. It wasn't really anything earth-shaking. I think there was a lot of room for improvement, but this is at least on pace to looking like a superior sequel, where you're going to get Tails and you're going to get Knuckles and you're going to get supposedly Robotnik looking the way Robotnik does and not looking like, whatever he looked like, Dick Dastardly or whatever he was looking like in the original version. Jim Carrey, I believe, pushed for a more Robotnik-looking version of Robotnik in the film, and I think they're going to give it to us this time. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is expected to speed into theaters April 8th, 2022. So it won't be long. We got about a year. And they're already working on it. Of course, we've got James Marsden back. They had an image of him, but I didn't bother because you know what James Marsden looks like. But, yeah, very exciting times. I feel like, we're going to get movies again. That's cool. As long as we get movies, it's going to be fun. This is, I just thought I'd throw this in. This is just a fun little story I found on comic book resources or whatever it was. Let's see. Joe Blow recently spoke to Dave Batista about his role in Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead. But as you might expect, the subject of his role as Drax did come up. Let's see. Asked about all the Marvel Studio projects that are currently in the works for Disney Plus, the pro wrestler turned actor admitted he was initially a little annoyed that none of the Guardians were getting their own shows. Yeah, I was shocked, he admitted. I got on Twitter for a second and started to bash them for not making not one Guardians character in a TV show. Like, how does that happen? There's so many interesting characters in that world. I just don't get it. But then I thought, I don't know what they have in mind, and I don't know what they have planned. I get that they take all their marquee characters and they gave them shows, so I don't want to take away from that just because I'm bitter that no one gave our series one. Let's see. The Guardians of the Galaxy cast will continue, however, in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and a holiday special featuring the characters is also in the works for Disney+. Batista admits that even if a Drax series was offered to him, he'd have to turn it down. Honestly, if they offered me a series, I wouldn't do it. Not a chance in hell would I do a TV series playing Drax. That is a makeup nightmare. I would be miserable. Yeah, that makeup isn't fun. It's awful. So I am not going to sign up to a series where I'm in that makeup every day. I guess I don't blame him. But, such is Hollywood. Such is the perils of becoming a famous and popular film actor. All right, we got our final story here of the day. Final story of the day or night, depending on where you are. We've got some casting news to share about, let's see, Indiana Jones 5. Indy 5. The Wrap is reporting the German actor Thomas Kretschmann, Avengers Age of Ultron. Avengers Age of Ultron. Oh, yeah, he was that guy. He was the Hydra guy at the beginning that had them in the... Yeah, I recognize him now. He has joined the cast of Lucasfilm's upcoming 5th installment of the Indiana Jones franchise. He's German. That sounds pretty good because what is he going to be? He's going to be some great-grandson of the Nazi... What was the guy's name? Dietrich? Or something like that? I don't know. It could be interesting. I don't know. I like to see a movie where they do tie all the movies together. Like, you get the grandson of Dietrich, and you get the, we get Short Round back, and Willie Scott, and, Donovan's brother, and You just get characters from all the movies, Sala and Marion. Just get them all back. Get them all back, and you know, just make it the biggest Mamma Jamma Indiana Jones reunion movie ever. For the time being, of course, his character's details are being kept under wraps, but he joins a cast headlined by Academy Award nominee Harrison Ford as the titular archaeologist, Golden Globe winner Phoebe Waller-Bridge from Star Wars Story, Solo: A Star Wars Story, and BAFTA Film Award nominee Mads Mikkelsen, Doctor Strange, Hannibal, both also recently joining the cast in undisclosed roles. So, again, this is shaping up. This is going to be out. Oh, gee, I forget now. Again, I don't have the date in the copy, but this is going to be out pretty soon, and I'm looking forward to it. You know, I'm cautiously optimistic. That's the only way you can be. I mean, I know Lucasfilm has a pretty poor track record as of now. I mean, is there really one project that they've come out with that everybody universally loves? I guess The Mandalorian? I don't know. Speaking of that, I haven't gotten around to seeing The Mandalorian or WandaVision or the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which Falcon and the Winter Soldier are getting mixed reviews. But then I suppose WandaVision did as well. But I am going to endeavor to probably try and watch those in the near future. I'm not sure exactly when the next video will be. I don't know if tomorrow I'm going to try to do a Batwoman review. Again, these things are all... I didn't really have a whole lot to say about this week's episode. But I probably will have some time tomorrow to do some kind of project. So I might very well hop on aboard again. So thank you to everyone who's joined us this lovely Saturday afternoon here on the only way to spend your Saturday here with us on the Johnny Torch Live program. Thank you to, I'm not sure if I can pronounce your name properly, Marquise DeVoice. Thank you for joining us in the show today, and I want to thank all my subs, all my viewers, all my subscribers, everyone who has helped put the channel where it is. I want to thank everybody who watches the show later on rebroadcast, so to speak. And please check out The Adventures of Bullets, Bourbon, Private Eye. We're really excited about this book, or at least I am. And we hope to bring it to you. Again, I got some convention appearances. Hopefully they'll pan out. And check out my website in the link in the description below for all that information on where to find me this summer on my Here Goes Nothing 2021 New England Comic-Con tour, where you could meet me in person and purchase your own autographed copy of The Adventures of Bullets, Bourbon, Private Eye. Also check out on Twitter for all the upcoming information as well. And check out the free preview if you haven't yet. If you are one of those people who need to be dragged kicking and screaming to my website to see the the free preview pages we have, please do. And check them out. And so, until next we meet, this is Johnny Torch reminding you once again, keep the flame burning brightly, and I'll be with you again real soon.